Hello everyone. So we're looking at dipalma.com and then look at the rest there for yourself. And De Palma was a graduate of MIT and also taught at MIT and also studied at Harvard and made the N machine. N just meaning it has many possibilities, I think, is what we're looking at. And the N machine was just the magnets that would spin and extracting the energy from the center shaft and from the outermost part of the magnet, right? Imagine a speaker magnet spinning really fast. So if we spin magnets in space, just in space, we can extract energy from those two parts, right? Now, I'm looking here, and Bruce De Palma and Paramahamsa Tiwari collaborate and work closely together. And we're going to talk about Paramahamsa Tiwari space vortex theory right now, because I just read something that was really, really significant and very interesting. Let's see if it was right here. I'm trying to remember where it was exactly. I think it was right here. We'll try this. Atomic structure. Let's see what this says. In space vortex theory, the existence of only one fundamental particle, that is, electron, follows from the postulates that the universe is constructed of only one non-material entity, space. With the limiting speed of its flow, c, I think that means speed of light, the positron is shown, 1, 2, to be an oppositely spinning electron. Isn't that interesting? I had forgotten that. I had read that before. And thus the idea of positive and negative charge is a relative concept. It has to do with spin, right? Which way do we spin something? If we spin a magnet in space, one direction, and read the charge from the outermost part of it in the center shaft, and then spin it the other direction, the polarity changes. That my research and experimentation indicate that. With the limiting speed of its flow, c, the positron is shown, 1, 2, to be an oppositely spinning electron, and thus the idea of positive and negative charge is a relative concept. The electrons through the interactions of velocity fields repel each other electrically and attract magnetically when in motion. Also, an electron attracts positron electrically and repels magnetically when in motion. With such forces of interaction between these particles, an electron and a positron in dynamic state will magnetically repel without annihilating each other, and as shown in figure 4, can assemble into a neutron, which as per space vortex theory is the core of hydrogen atom. When the neutron assembled out of 1836 numbers of electrons, 918 of them are positrons, is enclosed within a space vortex, its stability increases as Ft develops electric charge due to space spin around it and becomes a proton. When a proton attracts an electron through the interaction of the velocity fields in their vortices, hydrogen atom is built, figure 4. The spacing between the centers of the orbiting electron and the proton is determined by the common velocity field at the spinning surface of proton. The velocity fields of electron being relatively oppositely oriented with the proton's velocity fields, the hydrogen atom behaves neutral to outside interactions. Okay, let's look at this diagram. This is figure 4, hydrogen atom. Let's see if I can read this. Streamlines of space around the core that I'm trying to read this word right here. That penetrate, is it penetrate charge of, no, demonstrate charge of, I cannot read that. Electrons, positrons, in dynamic state, constitute the core. Electron, proton's core, proton's vortex. Electron speed c, spherical void, common velocity field, speed of light in absolute vacuum, electron's void, radius. Very interesting. This is very interesting. The atomic structure of hydrogen described above shows that the region around the nucleus is the vortex of space with speed of space rotation of 0,12 around the nucleus, and falling inversely as the distance from the center, the bond between the electron and proton is provided by the common velocity field between these particles, which occurs at the inner spacing of 24 RE, and thus the electron will have electrical attraction with the proton and also a fixed orbit, 1, with no possibility of its falling on to the nucleus, since the zero viscosity space circulating within the vortex does not reduce its velocity field with time. The size of the atom is determined by the volume of the nucleus, which in this case is neutron assembled out of 1836 electrons. With this vortex structure, the atom too, like electron, has no possibility of either emitting or absorbing energy except for kinetic energy, which is associated 1, 2 with it when in motion relative to space. For the atoms heavier than hydrogen, too, the nuclei contain half electrons and half positrons to account for the nuclear mass of different atoms. The velocity fields of the spatial spin around the nucleus determines the charge around the nucleus, and the numbers of electrons orbit around the nucleus are fixed so as to bring overall neutrality of the atom in normal state. The sphere within which the vacuum breaks down, a spherical void of radius is created. Radially outwards flow of vacuum at radial velocity c. Energization, spherical front shown at the stage of its creation. Energization, spherical front being transmitted radially out at radial velocity, produces gravity field in the universal space shown after time r/c from the instant of its creation. And please confirm this for yourself, because I'm not sure I'm reading that correctly. Creation of electron, it says. Creation of electron. Wow, that's amazing. That's creation of electron, figure 5. And then it says here, creation of electron, figure 5. Okay, gravitation and light. The creation of the spherical void of electron energizes the whole universal space by producing 1, 2 gravitational and also electric field, figure 3a, figure 5, in the space of the universe. The angular momentum of electron, figure 2a, due to spin of its interface and computed as 4/5 MECRE, with the use of the mass and charge equations derived in space vortex theory, is concluded to be the Planck's constant in its basic form and applicable to the fundamental particle electron. During the process of annihilation, the angular momentum of electron reduces to 0 in time duration RE. I'm just going to show this and not read it, the equations. releasing energy, that is, which flows into the void under the process of collapse. Simultaneously, a spherical shell, figure 3b, of negative energy is initiated from the interface, transmitting out in space at speed c and seen as a pulse of light. In the above process of annihilation, the frequency of light is identified as the inverse of the duration of the pulse formation, that is, and the wavelength of light as Re. It is also shown, too, that the energy released at the interface given above is, and then here's the equation. Everyone likes the math, right? There it is. Whereas stated above, 4/5, and then I'll show the math, ME, and then CRE is the Planck's constant for electron, and C/RE is the frequency F. The conclusion is that the decaying potentials, gravitational, electromagnetic, of electron in space, or de-energization of the universal space due to the collapse of the void during annihilation, produces light effect. The reduction to zero of the velocity field in space associated with the electron during its existence due to annihilation creates magnetic field, whereas the radial flow of fluid space into the void creates the electric orbital electrons, and the nucleus, being opposite in directions, cancel each other, and therefore the light shell produced due to oscillations of atoms has only changing gravity potential, figure 6a, figure 6b, that creates electromagnetic field within the wavelength of the light shell. NB, reasons for the light shell to have negative energy is discussed in Beyond Matter 2. Okay, because there's many books, right? So he's referencing Beyond Matter. Okay, let's see what this says. Gravitational constant. When an atomic center is at position 1, inward gravity field at A, B, or no, I cannot read it. I cannot see the details there. I'll try to show this, but I don't know if you could read that. Mean position, atom in mean position, half light shell produced due to reduction in gravity field, atom displaced to left, atom displaced to right, atomic oscillation in a flame oscillation in a plane does not produce spherically symmetrical shell. Light from atomic vibration. When they talk about light, I think of the UFOs that fly around that we see, that everyone sees, that are light, has the light around them. When you see photos of the UFOs with light around them, or videos, like the ones that flew over the White House. There was a bunch of them that flew over the White House a long time ago. That's a big event that happened. That was well documented. I think they did that because they wanted to help us. That's what I read. They want to help us. They were saying, we're here to help you guys. And I don't know what the results of that was. The Planck's constant for an atom under oscillation has been derived with the time rate of change of gravitational potential energy at the spherical nuclear surface of the atom. It is shown that Planck's constant for atoms is different for each atom and also different for electron, though with slight variations. Further, it is seen that Planck's constant is directly proportional to the square of the mass and inversely proportional to the radius of the atom, which is against the very basic concept of quantum theory that rests on the premise that Planck's constant is a universal constant. Also, with light effect consisting of successive shells of energy, depleted energy shells more precisely, such that the frequency of light is determined by the number of shells produced by an oscillating atom per unit time. Planck's constant has physical significance of every quantum contained in only one shell, as shown below. Very interesting, right? Okay, I'm going to have to stop because I need to eat. Oscillating atom, metal plate. But you can read this yourself, and I'll show the where it is again. dipama.paircite.com /chap8.html. And I think it says page 7 and page 8 at the bottom, like 2/3 down into the page on the left. If you go, I mean, on the dipamapaircite.com, if you go there, it's gonna, that's how I found this page. But electromagnetic interaction between atoms. This is all very interesting, and it's also very helpful for educational purposes to study, so that you know, the more people that understand this, is, I think, the better we're going to be, closer we're going to be to that 1 watt to 100 watt toy that can put out an excess of energy between 1 watt and 100 watts for educational purposes. The more people that understand this, and if we all work on this toy together, like individually, right? Together meaning everyone's doing it at the same time. I think someone's going to come out with it, and it'd be great to be able to buy these at a hobby store, or you can just buy this for educational purposes, right? It could be something as simple as an end machine that has basically a piece of ferrous iron metal, or it could be even aluminum. It could be one of those. It could be one or the other. And it can be neodymium magnets that are north, south, north, south, north, south, north, south, all the way around, and just spinning that with a brush, touching the outside. And then another rotor, it looked like the space vortex generator had another rotor that was bigger, but just metal. And that one's bigger than the other rotor with the magnets, right? And then have that connected to brushes, both those touching brushes. And then those brushes on both of those go to like a full wave bridge rectifier, I guess. And then to see if that can charge a battery or something, I guess. That's what I want to do. Okay, see you soon in the next video, and I hope everyone has a great day. Okay, see you soon. Bye.